Hello there, everybody. This is the Goldfinger Minute, and I'm Goldfinger. Today I have a new guest with me, Tommy Kilpatrick, and he is Irish, but he doesn't act
Quarter.
Irish. And he's a really nice guy. I met him at Sideways coffee shop this morning, and he said, "Hey, would you like to record me?" And I said, "Sure, come on down." And he hopped on the back of my motorbike, and I didn't crash. I didn't have an. I went real slow. Even took him to Hypermart. We shopped, did a little shopping, and then now he's here in my studio. So
Yeah.
say hello to the fans.
Hello, fans out there. And on riding on the motorcycle, there was a lot to hold on to.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, there's a lot. I got to go back on that diet, as everybody. I'm sure I'm going to get lots of people mention me. I've got to lose weight, but yeah, I was doing really good. But this is here about you. When I stress, I eat.
Mhm.
I was under a lot of stress for the last 4 months between moving here, fixing it up, creating the studio, and doing the outside and the bike rentals. It just was a lot. Anyway,
Yep.
that's over with that. Thank goodness. So the stress is mostly gone. Everything's fine now and everything works. So tell us a little bit about, we need to know a lot more about you.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna start with a story. About 12 years ago, the wife said, "Get out and take the dog with you,"
Okay.
which was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Okay. That's good.
And I was homeless, and
Where were you living at the
I was
time?
living in Southern California,
Okay.
born and raised. I thought I'd never leave California. It was just such a beautiful state to be. And then,
What year was this roughly?
gosh, about 12 years ago, so I'd be 13.
Okay.
So about 2013.
Okay.
And let's see what else. She said, "Get out, take the dog with you." And so I started walking. I purposely became homeless, purposely,
Purposely.
and still am homeless. But I don't have need a home. But and then I took a vow of poverty because I never was poor. I wanted to feel what it was like to have no money.
Actually does a lot of good. I've been there. So it makes you appreciate what you have
And what,
and people
yeah.
helping you, but makes you a better person.
Yeah, and the way the Filipinos are, and the Filipinos, it's like I'm there.
What other countries have you been to?
Oh gosh, China, Singapore, Bangkok, Hong Kong, Australia,
More
New
than just a
Zealand.
stop
Yeah. Oh
for
yeah.
some time.
Yeah.
Wow,
And
you so
Canada. I hitchhiked all the way across Canada. Been throughout Mexico, Belize, Puerto Rico. Spent a
so
month in Spain, Paris,
you were the guy that
London,
had all your
England,
stuff on a
Ireland.
stick and a hobo and just took off and traveled.
Oh,
You didn't have an
no.
income?
No, that was all before. I
Okay.
traveled before. So with a stick and a hobo with my backpack, I left all my possessions. I
Yeah.
used to have 5 medical clinics and a charity, and I walked away
Oh,
from all my wealth and
really?
gave it all
You
away.
gave it away.
Yeah, well, the wife took it all, so I didn't care. I
Okay.
didn't contest the divorce, just walked away from it all, and then ended
That's
up in Sedona, a very
beautiful place.
beautiful place. And there I
Yes.
met a evangelical Christian family
Uh-huh.
that was making bread out of their kitchen, their home kitchen. It was a
Okay.
home bakery. So I said, "I'll give you a year." And so they let me stay there and
A
I helped
year.
them. Mhm,
Wow.
I just gave me a year. I had some cash, so I bought a motorhome and I lived in that. And then when I left after a year, I gave them all my money. I emptied out all my pockets and gave them everything because you can't fill your pockets back up if they're full. So then I got into a car because a guy from Michigan had bought 2 vehicles, and he's like a body shop kinda guy,
Uh-huh.
and so he went to an auction, well, through the internet, he bought 2 cars, and he was driving one, he needed me as a driver to drive the second car back to Michigan, which I was headed east anyway. So as I got into the car with my dog and my backpack, the family handed me an envelope of money. So it just works that way. So every
They
time I
handed it
leave,
back to you. Or it's
they
the
handed
same
me
different family or this the
same family
oh,
that I gave them everything, and then they as I left, they handed me an envelope of money. So,
my goodness.
it's just what I
It
trust God.
happens.
I walk in faith, and so that's what I do.
And you were doing this for almost 13 years.
I ended up, from there across the country into Michigan, which I learned about, couch surfing. I had never heard of it
Yeah,
before.
couch surfing.
It's couch surfing,
It's
so
sleeping at different people's homes,
yeah, so
and there's a site for that.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I went on a site, the guy told me about it, so there was a neighbor who had a couch who let me sleep there for free,
that was
because
awesome.
again, I didn't have, much money, and, with a dog, and, then he told me about woofing. That's WWOOF.com, and it's Worldwide Opportunity Organic Farming. So organic farms around the world will let you stay there, room and board.
I've never heard of this site,
Yeah,
Woofing.
woofing,
Okay,
WWOOF.com, unforgettable.com,
Okay.
and it's you just pay a little bit of money,
How
very
do you get
small.
there? You gotta pay for your own flight there or
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
you get there,
But you
so
show up and they give you a room and board,
yeah,
and you do a little work.
yeah,
A lot of work or a little work?
very little. I mean, come on, you can do as much as you want
They
because
don't get mad and throw you out?
I haven't had that experience.
It's
No,
always been a positive
always been
experience.
positive.
Interesting.
So there was a wolfing site next door in the next town over, so the guy and I drove to this lady's farm, and
Ah,
she told me all about wolfing.
interesting.
And she said, "You gotta pick one or the other, either animals or plants. You can't do both."
Okay.
So there are wolfing sites that are more animal oriented, and there are some more wolfing sites that are more farm, growing crops
Do you
oriented.
put in a little blurb, about yourself and say, "I'm available," and you just wait for someone to respond?
You can email them just through the
Okay.
site. You can't find them elsewhere, but you just email them through the site, and
Okay.
then they check you out, you
This is
check them
wild.
out,
So a
they've
lot
got
of
a
people can go
history.
all over the world,
You can go
even at
all over the
even if
world.
you're older.
Doesn't matter.
You're not gonna tell us your age. You
I
already
do
told
not
me
tell
you
my
don't,
age.
but you were obviously this happened in the last 12 years or so.
Oh, yeah.
So, obviously you were older and you still did that. I understand you did that here as
Yeah,
well.
that's
Okay.
how I got
So
here.
age doesn't matter.
That age does not matter at all.
What about physical handicaps? Does that matter?
That can work with you too. They don't care. That some places are very primitive. So the site I found was in Connecticut.
Uh-huh.
So off we went to New York because the guy was a contractor and he needed my help to drive the car or his truck to New York City. So we went there, and then on the way to he was driving north. He dropped me off in Connecticut. This
Uh-huh.
farm had no running water,
Oh,
no
wow.
electricity, no heat
In Connecticut,
in Connecticut,
USA.
USA. It was called the Hay House. And this guy had this house made of hay bales that you covered with plaster. It's been used for centuries, 1,000 years.
Don't you get rats and stuff in the walls?
No, no, it's all covered in plaster. It looks like
Well,
a
don't
plaster
they dig
house.
through it or dig underneath it or something? Does it have a foundation?
No, not
Footing?
even a barn. The barn was made of hay bales. You just put hay bales, stack the
Full
hay
size
bales,
hay
full
bales.
size hail.
Hay bales.
That's right. Thank
That's
you.
it.
Hay bales, and then you cover it in plaster, and you got a house, and it's insulated.
I've never heard of such a thing. This is
It's
new to me.
crazy.
Okay, new to
Yeah.
me.
So I lived there for about 2 months, and the heat I was able to attain was from donated candles from the Catholic Church. So the little stubs of candles they
Okay,
would donate to this, farm, and that's how I heated my little, camper, so
with candles.
with
You
candles.
just do you melt them down and make them into a big candle, or you just
No,
use the
just let
stubs?
them
Just lit them and
let
use
them in, that was the heat.
okay.
So from there, I ended up in Maine for
Now what
about
did you
6
do at
years.
that farm?
Oh, I did, pretty much everything. We would go to the local, I'm trying to think, organic store,
Okay,
and they would donate their produce to us that was about to rot.
okay,
We
yeah,
would take the, long green onions, and if they still had the roots, we would replant them,
okay.
and in 2 weeks, they were brand new,
They're
organic,
fresh.
fresh, and we sold them at the, farmer's market. So,
Awesome, good idea.
yeah. So I
Clever.
did all the planting and harvesting, and, we went and collect, berries, and
You
we
can do the
made it a
same thing with
jam.
potatoes that have roots. You can
Yeah,
put
yeah, we planted
potatoes in the
potatoes.
ground and
Uh-huh.
they root, and then you can have more potatoes, and they'll
Yep.
be fresh and
We grew
yeah,
potatoes.
I know that
Uh-huh.
because we do that here ourselves.
Mm.
Carolyn's into that.
Yeah.
So I've seen her do it with the onions and the potatoes.
Yep.
Yeah, any kind of, what do they call those? I forgot the name of it, but they're root,
Yeah, there's a sweet potato, and
yeah,
there's other
yeah.
things there too.
Okay.
But you can call them, French fries and ketchup. So you grow tomatoes and potatoes, and we call it
Ah, okay.
yeah,
Now I'm sorry, I interrupted you as usual. You went from there to where?
Maine. I
Maine.
ended up in Maine. A lady came by and said, "Hey, come with me," and she had a little 2-year-old. So hey, a lot of fun. And then we ended up on a farm there, and had about 100 animals. We had an
Oh,
alpaca, we had sheep and goats. We had about 15 goats, and chickens and turkeys and rabbits,
man, you
dog,
learned a whole
cats.
career. You learned farming and ranching.
Yeah, I had some experience when I was a kid. I was taken to Montana where I'd spent some time on a farm. So I know what farm life was like. I rode horses.
Actually, you learned a whole new trade.
You
And
have to,
after a
as a
while,
farmer, you
you're
have to know all the trades.
and do you tell other people that's on the what's it called? Woofing?
Wolfing,
Did you tell them that, "Hey, I've had experience. I've been on farms. I've been"
they'll
so
ask.
and so, they're and you ever had a bad experience?
No. Now I can tell you a little story.
Do
I
please
was
do.
coming here, and so I had nobody because of you, Paul. Filipina P and all those lovely
Uh-huh.
people. You've all told me to come here. I believed everything you said, so I had to come.
Did you get the ebook?
I got the ebook and read
Good,
it
that
many
helps.
times. And even though you told me to unlock my phone, I read that. I arrived in Los Angeles with my phone. I went to unlock it, like you said to do, and they said the only you have to come into the office, and the closest office is in San Francisco. So
No, that's not right.
yeah,
That's not right at all.
no, I talked to him, and
What company was this? Do you remember?
I don't know, it's some like T-Mobile or something. I can't remember the name, but it was
They should be
some.
able to do it at
No, I had to go into the
so
office
you had to buy a phone or you had
when I
to
got to
pay
the
somebody to
Philippines.
unlock it.
So I landed in the Philippines
Yeah.
because of the wolfing. I didn't have anybody to come.
This is how long ago?
This
We're
was
jumping many
yeah,
years.
no, no, just back in September.
Okay, so you've been
I would
here
have
October,
contacted
November, December,
the farmer.
5, 6
And
months.
so in September, October, he said, "Yeah, come." And that's why I was planning to come.
What area was he? Tell us about that.
See, he was in near Manila. So my plans, because you all said to fly into Cebu, that was my initial plan. But since he was outside of Manila, I flew into Manila.
Yeah, that's better.
But then a
Cheaper
typhoon was
too.
coming, and I couldn't go directly to the farm because on the farm is one side is jungle, one side is jungle, and behind me is all jungle. And we're on this by mountain view, and down in front, I see the South China Sea. I can see the
Really?
storms coming, and
Really?
then the wind starts blowing, and then the rain comes down, and then it blows away, and I got sunshine again.
Okay, now I see your mic has to be a little closer. Just pull it towards you.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, and you can point it up a little. You could twist it a little. There you go.
There you go. Okay,
All right. So you
so
saw the storm. You saw the
I
whole
can see
thing
it coming.
and you still landed in Manila though.
Well, that's why he said they hit the typhoons, so stay there in Manila for about a week. So I got to enjoy Manila.
Wait a minute. You don't have much money.
Oh, I have, let me see, about 1,200 a month on social.
Okay, but I
Uh-huh.
meant in your pocket. Did you have any money when you hit
Yeah, so you
Philippines?
like you said, bring crisp, and they didn't wanna take $1 bill, a
No,
brand new dollar bill that was
no.
slightly cut a little bit.
No, they're very picky and
Yeah.
they don't even want $1 bills. They want
No, no,
100.
100. They were a
Oh,
$100 bill,
okay.
but it was slightly cut, so, I had a problem with that, but I took it to another
You
local place.
eventually find
Yeah, I did.
somebody who'll
So
take
I
it.
brought, about $1,000 and,
Oh,
yeah,
that's plenty of money to
yeah.
come here with start. So you were able to stay in a hotel
And the hotel was 1,000 pesos,
a night, 1,000 pesos a night.
and it was air conditioned,
Oh, that's good.
and it was in the city. It was only a few blocks away from
Cheap
all the
for
transit,
Manila.
very cheap, and very nice. It was a nice neighborhood.
Huh.
I ate about
Wait a
200
minute. How'd you
pesos.
find that?
Agoda.
Agoda. Yeah.
That
Okay. That's really a good price. That's
I
pretty
mean, it's
good.
right, and it's in the middle of the city, and I could walk to MOA, which is
You
the
have a
Mall
hard
of
time
Asia.
finding 1,000 peso a night hotel here in Dumaguete. Dumaguete,
Mine's 600, right down the block.
really?
Yeah, 600 a night.
Which hotel?
Heart Hotel.
Heart Hotel.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to look into that.
yeah,
600 pesos.
yeah.
How was that hotel?
It's very nice. I'm on a second floor. The room I was in was very noisy. That's the thing about the Philippines, it's very noisy. So it's a one bedroom. It had a bed in it and a desk and a chair and a light and window,
Aircon?
aircon, absolutely.
That's really unusual.
Yeah, I did that
600.
for 2 nights, and then I met somebody, so I've got a
We're gonna
2
get into that in a
bedrooms.
minute. Wait,
So
we'll
I
get
got
into
a
that in a minute.
larger room, but
Let's go back to
that's about
Manila.
1,000, so 1,035 for the 2, to the larger room, but I'm gonna stay another night, so I got that went back to Agoda, and instead of paying the clerk 1,035, I only paid 700.
Are we talking here or Manila?
Right here,
Okay,
right here.
we'll get back to here. Let's go back to
Okay,
Manila
back
first.
to Manila. So I found it on Agoda,
I'm sorry, I
and
did that.
there are hostels which
Yes.
are like a bunk. I need a room for myself,
Oh, when you get older,
Yeah. And then
you
it
want
was a
privacy.
shared bathroom.
Uh-huh.
But in all my experiences, I've never had a problem with a shared bathroom,
No.
and so that was there, and no window. So I'm inside, but nice and quiet.
Are you claustrophobic?
Oh no, I was a commercial diver. No, I'm very
Oh,
fine.
okay.
With being in a room like that. So then I could walk to the Mall of Asia,
Uh-huh.
and most people don't walk. Filipinos would stop me and say, "Where are you going?" I'm saying, "Well, I'm gonna walk to the mall." "No, no, I'll pay you." They would pay. They offered to pay my tricycle to get me to the Mall of Asia, and I'm
Did
going,
that take you back a little?
"I'm walking." Oh,
Isn't that
absolutely.
different?
It's like,
I know. They did that to me too. You brought back a memory.
"Oh my
I was
gosh."
walking, and of course I'm heavy, and I'm walking 2 kilometers. Hot as hell. I sat down on a wall. A lady came out of the house, brought me a glass of water, and said, "Where are you headed?" And I said, "Ground zero." And she looked, she goes, "I'll take you." I says, "No, I need the exercise. It's okay. I'll walk. I appreciate the water." And she sat and talked with me. It's like, and I was like, that hasn't happened in over 50 years, something like that. That's the beauty of here.
And talk about the attraction. They find me attractive, which I'm considered trash for the last 30, 40 years in America. I was a piece of
We're talking about
garbage.
Filipinas.
Oh my gosh. They love the white skin. They love the nose. They can't stop touching my nose. And they
Your
love the
eyes are blue, I think.
eyes are blue.
That's a
Yeah.
big
Oh, yeah.
plus. Yeah. White
And
skin, blue
white skin,
eyes.
blue
They
eyes.
like a big nose. They don't have
Oh,
noses. They don't
yeah.
have noses here. They like big noses.
And I tell them, I like your nose. I like your
I
color.
like little noses. It's always the grass is greener on the other
Yeah.
side. I
I
like
like them
little.
dark. I don't care if they're
I
black. Doesn't
know.
matter to
It's
me.
it's weird because they don't want to be dark. They use creams and stuff.
To
They have
lighten their
bleach, and it's
skin up.
horrible. It's horrible
Yep.
for you.
You see that
But
soap in the
they use umbrellas a lot because of the
mm.
sun.
Oh, I use an umbrella. Well, it's just
It right
scorchingly
now it's
hot. Yeah.
scorching hot. It burns your skin, but all year round they
Yeah.
use an umbrella.
And to find you this morning, I walked about a kilometer, but I like walking in the morning. I walk in the
You didn't
evening.
take a pedicab to the.
No, you told me to take a pit. No, I looked right, it's right down the street. So it was simple.
It's at least a half a kilometer to a kilometer.
So I
It
was
was
there.
hot as hell out there.
Doesn't matter. I had the
Oh,
umbrella.
okay. Well, and had then from all this walking, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but from all this walking, have you lost weight here or just getting better physical shape?
Oh, much better physical shape. Yeah.
Walking does help.
Hmm.
I started walking on Resolve, so I'm hoping I will get to your size
And
in
I
a
used
year.
before the wife kicked me out, I was a few years before that, I was on 5 pounds off being obese.
Well, technically, then you were obese. I mean, you
Yeah,
can't say
I
I'm
had 5 more
five
pounds
pounds
and I
from
would be
obese. You
obese.
either
Yeah.
obese or you're not.
A fat
So,
vegetarian because I would drink alcohol, which I
oh,
don't do that
yeah,
anymore,
no,
and I would eat sugar, which I don't
yeah,
anymore.
no
And
sugar.
so there you go. So you can lose
Are
the
you a
weight.
vegetarian or you eat?
Been a
You eat?
vegetarian for 50 years. Yeah. So now
Oh,
you can kind
okay.
of
I didn't
figure out
know
my
that.
age,
Uh-huh.
but I won't tell you my age. I tell the Filipinos always ask, where are you from and how old are you? So I let them guess. I said, where do you think I'm from? And someone guessed America, and we had some fun with that. And then they say, how old are you? And I say, how old do you think I am? And I get answers.
All my viewers now are going to start saying he's this age, he's that age. Find out what age he was. When did you go to high school? When did you graduate? They'll do the math.
They'll figure it out.
Don't do that, guys. Okay.
So the answers I've gotten from the Filipinos is 40 to 101.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, they had so much fun saying I was
101.
101.
That just
So I
drives me
tell
nuts.
them 23. That's what's inside my
Well,
head.
that's your
I
mindset.
act
Yeah,
23.
that's your
So I am
mindset.
23.
So yeah,
So then I
that's
ask them,
good.
how old are you? And they'll tell me all different ages. And I say, see how young they are? They go, yeah. And see how old that person is? Yeah. And they're all like 18, 20 years old. And they go, yeah, he's much more mature than we are. And these are much more
Well,
younger kids.
yeah.
And they're just laughing and goofing and being 13 or 12. Yeah.
Well, you are energetic. You do have a very good karma, a lot of personality. Let's go to Manila. So you
Okay.
finally made it to where was this person's
It's
farm?
Haviland Farms, and
Uh,
it's near Tayabas. It's
uh-huh.
near Lucena, which is a little bit south, and you go west of Manila.
West of Manila,
Yeah.
southwest.
Hmm.
Okay. And how big of a property was it?
Oh gosh, probably 40 acres. And this guy had inherited it. This is his family's farm, and he
Hmm.
hadn't done anything with it for 3 years ago. And then he decided to get out of the rat race. He had enough of this. So he said, I'm going to go back to the farm. And he hired the local carpenter, and he has built 13 different structures, all by this one guy.
Wow.
Like he's 70 years old,
Wow.
and he's been doing this for 3 years. And so he built the clubhouse, well, the kind of like the classroom
Hmm.
and all the housing. And you climb up these bamboo ladder, and you climb up high, and you lay down on this big, huge flat area. And there's electricity, there's internet. I plug in my computer, I'm up there on the internet. So it's amazing.
And now, what did you do there?
I taught them how to build a dome house.
Okay.
On ziptiedomes.com, you can put together their kit. So all you need to do is cut the bamboo at a certain length, and they have a calculator. And all I asked him is, how big do you want the dome? And he said, I want it to be 8 meters. So they had feet and meters. So we clicked meters, put 8,
Yeah.
and it told me the 3 different sizes. So I told him how long the bamboo needed to be cut. And so the carpenter went out, Oyo, and he collected all of it, dropped it there, and I drilled holes into the end of each stick. And then a hub. The hub is a bigger piece of bamboo, just a bigger diameter,
Hmm.
and you drill holes into it. And so the sticks go into that, and you use a zip tie. So
So,
once I had all the parts cut, it only took 2 hours to put together an 8-foot, 25-foot diameter dome in less than 2 hours for one guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, the zip ties, they're plastic,
Plastic.
but how long will they last?
Well, they also
The
have
sun
steel ones too.
they have what?
They're steel
They
ones
have
too.
steel zip ties? Oh, I didn't
Mhm.
know that. So you're using steel?
No, I
No.
just I bought a whole bunch of zip ties, but they have them here
I understand, but the plastic, doesn't it deteriorate from the sun?
for a while. But it doesn't matter. It's up. You
They
can
get
cover it.
brittle.
You can cover it in cement. You can
Okay.
cover it up there.
All right.
But yeah, it's on Facebook, and so we posted that, and so it's a beautiful dome, and we built another one, smaller size, and I'm going to be going back to do a workshop. So he's got 17 college students, and the community is going to come there, and we're going to show them how to do it themselves.
Wow.
The whole idea is they can have free housing if they just know to go to the website, punch in the numbers. It tells you how size and how long they're supposed to be, and
Uh-huh.
they see us drill the holes, and then you just carve out a little bit because you need to adjust a little bit, then put it together, and it takes no tools. So if there was a storm that came, a typhoon that wiped out the house, in hours you could have a house.
Okay. Yeah, and bamboo's terribly strong.
Incredibly strong.
Very resistant to weather. That's incredible.
Mhm.
Now,
And then I teach that and I leave. So I have a farm north of Manila that wants me, one south of Manila. And the reason for me coming to Dumaguete is
yeah.
I was on my way to the island of Guimares. There was another farmer on the wolfing site. His name's Edmund, and he's invited me to come to do the same thing there. And we're going to expand it to being more of a, after we build the dome, we're going to be doing vertical growing crops. So instead of bending over, doing what you've done for 10,000 years,
Mhm.
this is going to be vertical.
Oh, yeah,
And
vertical
also to
farming in
open up,
Philippines.
yeah,
Wow, that's
yeah,
new for them.
and to open up a free wellness center. Can't call it a medical center,
I
but it's
understand.
a wellness center. And that's where we teach them how to heal themselves with some knowledge of things that we pass along, but also some devices. And I can fund that. And then
Natural cures, natural
natural
health.
cures, yeah. And then leave. And then I have been invited to go to a farm in Taiwan.
Oh,
So,
boy, you're a busy guy. So you're now you're living it because you're enjoying it. I could
yeah,
tell. You're enjoying it.
it's fun
But you're also very busy.
as much as I want to be.
Have you put this all together in some way that people can you know, find out about you or read about it or any of this?
I am on YouTube with my name,
Okay.
Tommy A. Kilpatrick, and you'll see my videos. I've been interviewed on my book because I came to the Philippines
You have a
with,
book.
yeah, I wrote a book while I was here.
Okay. While you
So,
were here.
yes. See,
Okay.
so reaching out to some of your listeners, you don't have anything, you can come here.
How did they get the book?
They can go, we'll put a link to
I will have it in the
in the
description,
description.
but you could tell them now.
There's a free book,
Uh,
and you go to that, and there's a free consultation, and it's a 15-minute. And if you do that, you get a free book from that I wrote. It's $69, and it's called "Forgive and Forget: How to Nuke Your Credit Card Debt." So I was successful.
you said that very quick. Forgive
Forgive
and
and
forget.
forget how to nuke your credit
Nuke.
card
Okay, nuke
debt.
the credit card
I'm so
debt.
excited. Yeah. So
Well, I don't do credit cards, but you come here, you really don't want to use credit cards much. Debit cards fine, but not credit cards.
yep.
Anyway, when you get older, you don't really want credit cards. They could get out of hand. But yeah, that's good. Okay, catchy name.
Mhm.
And
So
is it already? It's on. It's an
it's on
ebook.
Amazon.
It's on Amazon.
Uh-huh. Yep. It was
It's a
published on January 30th.
okay, very
Yeah,
good.
so it only took me a short time, and a friend of mine put some
How'd you get it
graphics.
so quickly on Amazon?
Was up in about 3 days.
It's a ebook then.
Ebook and a paperback, they print it,
They printed it.
and
Wow,
hardback, yeah,
I'll be darned.
yeah.
You have a wealth of knowledge. You do because people want to know how do you get books printed and put on Amazon so quick?
I just typed it up. A friend of mine, put the graphics together,
Uh-huh.
and you just load it up. It asks for a
Yeah.
download, you just load it up, upload it to
And
the
they take a
Amazon.
percentage, I guess, of
Yeah,
the sales.
and they have, like, 2 choices, and the one is you make more, but then you gotta be more of a well-established author, which I was a first time in that sense. So, I get, like 30%
You get
I get $20 a book.
you get $20. So
So
they're
1,000
making too
people would be
much. And you asked me, they're
20,000.
making too much,
Okay.
but I get it.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this in a couple different parts. It's we've been on at least 20 minutes. I forgot to set my timer as usual. But unlike StreamYard, it doesn't tell me how long I've been on, but I can tell from this time it's been 20 minutes plus. We're gonna go to another chapter, so I'm gonna keep on recording, but we're gonna continue on so that I could do it in 2 episodes,
or
okay?
3.
Yeah, because people wanna know more about this, what you're doing, and I'm
Mm,
sure they're curious. So, everybody, we're gonna go chapter 2.